We are back on Inside Politics today. Our guest, Dr. Adrienne Battle, the Director of Metropolitan Public Schools. They're going to open in early August, but they're going to open virtually only. Dr. Battle, I think a lot of parents want to be back in school just because they have daycare issues taking care of it now. Now they're going to have to, they have children of various ages. They cannot work at home. They have to go to work every day. They have to find somebody to watch and take care of their kids. So do you have any suggestions for how they're going to have to deal with that, particularly if this goes anywhere beyond Labor Day?
Yeah, I mean, that's something that we're always considering as a school district. We're trying to work on many supporting documents and tools and resources to support our families. We're working on structures that help parents with understanding and recommending how to structure the day for students. This is also part of the reason that we're offering asynchronous learning opportunities that are not set schedules but are self-paced by our students. And I look forward to having many conversations here soon with some of our community partners who are able to provide childcare for our students and families in need. So we will continue to look for those opportunities and definitely share those resources out to our families as they are identified.
When it's time to go back to in-person class training, classroom work, there may still be some parents who aren't comfortable bringing their children back into that particular situation. Are you going to offer the opportunity for some of them to stay online, or if we go back to in-person, that's where they need to be?
Yes, our plan is, of course, we've planned for various scenarios, this also being one of those scenarios we've planned around. Our goal is that as long as the virus is around and there's a risk to our students, our families, and our employees, we will continue to offer the virtual experience for our families who choose that direction.
Now, Mayor Cooper and the Metro Council have approved tens of millions of dollars out of the Federal CARE Act to take care of providing computers and hotspots so every student will be able to do that. But I understand not all those new computers or hotspots are going to be available, but you've managed to find a way to get enough so everybody will be able to have access to one by the time they start in August. Is that correct?
That's correct. I mean, first of all, a huge thank you to Mayor Cooper and to Metro Council for that investment in Metro Nashville Public Schools. The great news is that MNPS will be able to realize a goal that we've had for many, many years, and that is that by the end of this school year, we will be a one-to-one technology district. And that's huge because there are many, many districts striving to land in that space. We do have plans to ensure that students who need a device will have a device in hand prior to the start of the school year. And as new devices come in, we will shift those devices to our students. And so we'll be utilizing our school-based devices to ensure that students who need them have them, as well as connectivity. And we'll be distributing those by households because you can have up to 6 connections to the devices we will be providing.
I believe the laptop computer provider in this is Dell Computers, which the city has given hundreds of thousands of dollars over the years as they brought jobs here. Do you feel like they've given your very best effort to expedite what you need to get the computers here, or do you like to see some little more priority put on getting those computers available to you?
You know, again, I think the reality here is that MNPS, Metro Nashville Public Schools, is not in this alone. What we're experiencing right now is that districts, not only locally, but across the country, are all trying to obtain instructional technology to keep their students engaged, regardless of if they're going back in a virtual or a traditional setting. And so that is definitely something that has been communicated to us that Dell is experiencing. They have remained in strong communication with us, providing frequent updates with regards to our delivery and distribution process. And so we've been able to, again, receive timely updates that help inform our plans of when we can get all the one-to-one devices in the hands of our students.
There continues to be talk about a second wave of the COVID-19 virus to go along with the regular flu. Is that about your worst nightmare, that you start out virtually, you go back to in-person classes, and then suddenly the virus hits again and you have to go back to virtual?
It's certainly a possibility going into the fall. We are following the science, we're following the metrics, and listening to the health experts with regards to preparing for that. As I mentioned, all of our scenarios and the plans we're building through our continuity of learning plan are built on the premise of understanding that that likely could happen in the fall. And so we want to have the ability to pivot from virtual to in-person or to a hybrid scenario if that is our reality later this year.
I know the school board has adopted and adopted before this even started, basically an agenda for how the schools are going to go throughout the year in terms of what was going to happen. What a lot of schools, particularly in higher education, are going to start early and end by Thanksgiving. Are you going to do that? And what are your plans for the second semester? Are you going to stay with the plan that the school board had already adapted in terms of the agenda for how the school system was going to run this year?
Yes, currently our plan is to stick with our school board adopted calendar, understanding that things could shift at any time if we see an increase in the spread of the virus, or as you mentioned, that being coupled with what we typically see in the flu season. And so our goal and premise for starting off on August 4th is that we want to maximize all the instructional days and opportunities we have with our students. And so we will stick with our traditional calendar as it is, knowing that we have a strong continuity of learning plan in place if in the experience additional closures throughout the year.
Have you been concerned that you have to deal with so many different bosses or people that have some oversight or input in this? You have to deal with what's going on here in Metro, you have to deal with the state, you have to deal with the CDC and other parts of the federal government. Does it get a little confusing, somehow a little overwhelming?
My focus remains on prioritizing our students, and I always try to stay committed to limiting any distractions that keep us as a school district providing a high quality experience for our students and responding to the needs of our families and our employees. And so with that keen focus, it's much more efficient to be able to make informed decisions given all the other policies and guidelines that may be provided to LEAs.
Dr. Adrienne Battle, the Director of Metro Schools, is our guest on Inside Politics. We're talking about the challenges and problems with reopening schools and the opportunities as well. Back to continue our conversation with the Director after this break.